Hey, hey everyone. Hey Francesca. Bit of a wobbly start this morning. Sorry. I went through a little country area and I thought I was already live and realized I wasn't and pulled over to fix it. And then as it turns out, there was really bad reception as well. So it just started buffering and buffering and buffering. I'm on my way home from town. I tried my hardest to go to work today. I really thought the distraction would be good and um you know, there are clients that have problems that need help, and I thought it would be nice to just have that distraction. But I've been sobbing uncontrollably all morning, and on the drive in, I pulled over and messaged my boss and just said, they didn't know that Biscuit had died, but I just said, this has happened too. And he wrote back straight away and just said, God, what a terrible start for the year you've had. We'll fix the days, work Wednesday and Friday. I've chosen to do Wednesday and Friday, so I have a day off in between at home as well. Hey, Marie. Thank you so much, gorgeous. So, and then to avoid the morning traffic, I decided to come through Richmond, which is this beautiful little town. I would turn around and go back to where it starts because it's just the prettiest place. But the reception's really bad. Like I had to keep sort of moving in closer to Richmond. But I will do a live from here soon. It's really beautiful. It's like 20 minutes from where I live. It's this beautiful little hamlet it boasts the oldest bridge in Australia and the oldest church in Australia. In fact, I'll do a little loop of them on the way home. But I just grabbed a little coffee as well, and yeah, my bosses are unbelievable. Um, I thanked I thanked him for his understanding. I said, I know a lot of people just think, it's just a cat or a dog, whatever, get over it. But she was my world, and he he said, I hope that this job brings you, a lot of happiness throughout the year. And I said, look, I am already very excited about it, and I feel unbelievably supported. And despite the start to the year, I'm already feeling like it's a good year. So come with me on the drive home. I pulled the pin on working today. To avoid morning traffic, I thought I'd come through Richmond. Some of you may have seen Richmond before. We'll do a proper live from here one day. It's a very beautiful, historic little town not far from where I am, and it's in the Coal River Valley, which is one of the food bowls. I mean, all of Tasmania's, hey Ruth, a food bowl, but this area's got a lot of wineries and stuff. Just want to check too. I changed the setting for my microphone. Hey Raven. It was on speakerphone, which I mean, I know you can put your phone on speaker, but what the fuck does speakerphone mean? So I've put it to the default setting. Is it easier to listen to now? I played back a little bit of one the other day to read the comments and thought, God, how painful to have to listen to that. Like I sounded like I was broadcasting from a room in my house. Hello, Stop Animal Cruelty. Thank you all for your beautiful messages. Yesterday was the day before going back to work. I was hoping to have a very quiet day and have a little break from responding to messages. And I'm so touched. There's messages that have come in from all over the world about her, and I've derived a lot of comfort from reading them. But I was just going to have a very quiet day. That my friends Andy's sounds good and clear. Awesome. I've worked out what was wrong. Awesome. Hey, Jules. Have a good day at work. Beautiful. Thank you for your lovely messages too. And I do keep thinking Biscuit and Bart, I'm sure they'll find each other, cheeky little monkeys. It's a lovely thought. It does make me smile to think of the two of them running amok together. Biscuit will probably lead Bart astray more than him leading her astray, I reckon. But yeah, it's a nice thought. Our two little bees running around having fun. I don't know where I was. Yeah, so yesterday I really wanted a day of rest. The Andes came down. They brought me a beautiful plant for Biscuit. They brought provisions to make some lunch, which was so sweet of them. But I also had my lawnmower dude who loved Biscuit, so I had to tell him. My neighbour popped over. My pest guy, like I had to be on show all day, and I think that today is just going to be my little day of rest. And Aunt Tilly, yes, I hope you saw my message about Tilly. Stop animal cruelty. And I loved that you said you feel like Biscuit was yours too. And she had that effect on people, like people that met her, not just in the flesh, but also online. The connection was so strong with her. And I love that people feel like she was theirs as well. And Dwight and my beautiful tabby boy, Oliver, and all the dogs and cats we had growing up, all the animals that have gone, yes, but especially anyone that's lost animals in our little community for sure. So yeah, a day of rest is coming up for me. I messaged work. My boss could not have been lovelier. I feel so blessed that the universe brought all of that stuff together and made that happen while I've been going through all this other stuff. I think the universe can give me a break now though. Like I don't dwell on things. I'm not a moper, but seriously, three of my best girls in a matter of a month and a half. Like, yeah, enough, thanks. So, and I know everyone has their own stories and everyone has their own woes, but yeah, I'm being brutally honest. This has busted me a little bit, but a lot. But the exciting thing is, I know I'm going to love my job. I already feel unbelievably supported by the people I'm working for, and I know my work is going to be very rewarding. And I also this year I'm going to get way more involved at grassroots level, helping the community. I made a decision to resign from two boards that I was on because they're just not fulfilling me, even though they do nice things for the community. I want to actually get in and help people, start looking after vulnerable members and helping the elderly in our community, maybe look at joining Rotary or Lions or something like that that's more on the ground doing stuff, raising money, helping people. I think the boards were a really good thing for me to get involved in last year. And it was good to get me out and about and socialising again and all of the rest, but they just weren't fulfilling me. So, you know, I'm glad I left them too, Francesca. And one of the board members rang me yesterday and I didn't take her call, and it wasn't to be a bitch. I just couldn't speak to her, but she doesn't even know about Biscuit yet. But I thought, oh, so you've obviously been told I've resigned from the boards, but, you didn't feel to pick up the phone and call me when I kept saying I couldn't come to a meeting because another friend had died. But yeah, get news I'm leaving the board and I get a call. No thanks. I mean, she's a lovely woman, but they're so focused on it. It's their thing and it's not my thing. Love you, Marie. Good to see you, beautiful. Have a good day. So just going to turtle home through beautiful Richmond. There is a lot more to it than what I'm about to show you, but it's a very pretty little place. I will go down to the river and show you the oldest bridge. I'm not sure actually if Richmond or Ross in Tasmania. One of them's got the oldest bridge in Australia, but the Richmond Bridge is a very typical Tasmanian postcard photo. And I know the church is the oldest church in Australia. So I agree, Francesca, but I've got to be mindful that I don't know who watches my channel and who lurks. Okay, let's go. Let's go. I feel light from leaving them. I'll message her. She obviously thought I was screening my calls or something. She's like, okay, well then maybe a quick coffee, but I'll message her later and just say, look, my cat's died as well. I'm not up to any coffees or speaking to anyone at the moment. I'll let you know when I'm ready. So yeah, this is beautiful Richmond, which has got antique shops, which makes me laugh because in Tassie, in Australia, really what we call antiques compared to the rest of the world aren't even close to being antiques. Lots of little bed and breakfasts, and it's a very beautiful little town. We'll come here one day and I'll walk around it with you. And we're about to go over the Richmond Bridge now, but I want to swing around and give you a view of it because it's really beautiful. Don't forget with chat to yell at me in caps. The sun is in my face at the moment, so I can't see anything, but if and when I can, I'll respond. I did know that about the original London Bridge, yes. It's amazing. And wasn't the Statue of Liberty originally a French statue as well? So this church coming up into sight shortly is St John's. My cousin Emma married her husband John here, and it's the oldest church in Australia. I love the Tasmanian sandstone. It's so rich and the colour is just incredible. But how beautiful is this little town? Like this house straight ahead is on the river, and it's absolutely exquisite. I've been through it. And I'm not meant to pull over here, but I'm just for a second, just so that you can see the bridge. I hope you can see it because it's such a long shot on my phone, but it's absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. All the school kids are being dropped off. I'm being a nuisance, so we'll keep going. But yeah, I can see the bridge a little bit in the bottom right-hand corner, but I will come here one day and we'll go down one of the traditions here is to go and feed the ducks at the bridge, so we'll do that one day. Oh, it's so, yeah, they gave this statue. Hey, Morgan, actually, I know that there's a Morgan Street in Richmond. When we're driving out, we'll go past it. So it's very appropriate that you arrived. It's very English, very British looking little township, lots of sandstone and cottages, and I mean it's gorgeous. We'll do a live here one day. I'll bring a battery charger too, so that because it'll take a long time to show it all of you, but all of it to you. But a lot of Tasmania looks very English, and Richmond definitely. I know the sun's probably really bright, but when we get we're going to drive through some really beautiful countryside in a minute too. Hopefully my reception won't be too shabby, but if it is, just understand that we are in country Tasmania. There it is, Morgan Street to the right. But yeah, lots of farm stays, accommodation, wedding venues, wineries, dairies, food producers. It's a very beautiful part of Tassie. I mean, Tassie is beautiful anyway. I think wherever I take you, you'll love it. And it's just down the road from where I live, where we are right now. How lucky am I? I do love showing off Tassie and to you guys. And when I moved to the mainland, I used to describe myself as an unofficial ambassador for Tasmania. And I was saying to a friend of mine with Biscuit leaving us so suddenly, but she's actually given me the freedom to take you guys on some, little trips around the state, and I'm going to have a few nights away just for some healing and downtime. I think while I'm only working 2 days a week, I should make the most of it and travel before I get another little rescue cat. Hey, Nika. I won't be able to read chat much at the moment because it's a little windy road, but it's also 100 kilometres an hour through here, so I can't kind of slow down to read chat and piss the traffic off. But I hope that you enjoy the scenery. It's a really pretty part of the state. I will read back through chat too. And apologies if I drop out, but we are in a rural area, so internet reception might be a bit patchy. And it's very hilly, which is why the internet's not often great in these parts of the state. Hey, Hannah. Hello, Ruth. I think, did I say hi, Ruth, before? I'm not sure. I know I've still got a heap of messages to respond to, and I will get to them bit by bit. So over in the distance, as you drive through this wine country, you see that body of water, and you might be able to spot the causeways that I drive us over a lot. So we're sort of doing the back way out of Hobart to get back down to where I live. I just added to an already very flattened possum. Have a great day at work, Jules. But yeah, Tasmania is the place that I always say to people when they're coming here, and they say, where should we go? And trust me, there's a million places they can go. But I say to them, it's one of those places that every corner you drive around, you get a new, amazing, breathtaking view, something. So you really can't go wrong. And then I should say, what are you into, and start recommending things. But this place has always and will always take my breath away. Even roads that I know like the back of my hand still take my breath away. A lot of you know, driving into where I live, there's the sand dunes, and every night coming home from work and coming into that view is just, it's the most beautiful feeling, sweeps over me. I just love it. Love it. And I will read back through my chat later for any comments that I haven't seen or people. But yes, I pulled the pin on going to work. I was optimistic that it would be a good distraction, and I'm loving it, and I feel very supported by the people, not only the people that I work for, but also the people in the building where I'm working, who I had been doing a work placement with leading up to and just after Christmas. And I thought, I know I'm going to be wrapped in so much love, but I just knew in my heart on the way in that I just need a quiet day at home. Nourish my body, nourish my heart, nourish my soul, go for a walk on the beach. Have a little break from responding to messages. Listen to some music. I've been playing music that I love in the last couple of days, and the most gentle music imaginable, and it still seems too noisy to me. But yeah, I'll just have a day of nourishing and go to work tomorrow. I've got a commitment for Thursday with a group of very empowering women, and I know that I'll get a lot out of being around them. It's all on Zoom, so I don't have to actually be physically in a room full of people, but I'll be connected to a lot of really inspiring people, women, which will be really lovely. And then I'm going to go back to work on Friday. I've got a friend I was meant to be having lunch with on Friday, but I'm going to ask her if we can do it on Saturday instead. And it's just down at Dodgers where I live, where she lives. So a beautiful little cafe that we go to sometimes on my lives. I'm just going to go to Park Cafe and catch up, but I don't think it was your mind. And I've got two really close friends who I need to touch base with again and just let them know about Biscuit, and they're not social media people, and I felt sick last night that I still hadn't messaged them, but I kind of feel that if I do have any phone calls today, they're the two girls I really want to chat to. They're two of my best girls, and I messaged them to send out some positive vibes when Biscuit was so sick last week, but I haven't actually told them she's gone yet. But today, be a lovely day to hear from them. Just a reminder, guys, that I can't really read chat much. If you are having a little side chat, go for it. I love that my chum does that, that you guys are into that. But if you do want me to see anything, if you could do it in caps and keep it really short, because I just don't want anyone to think that I'm ignoring them. So we'll come up over the hill in a minute and you'll be able to see Cyril, which you all know pretty well now. I'm just going to stop at the post office. The other thing I'm going to do today is Mel, the vet, who worked so tirelessly, and you all saw that video of Biscuit having the midnight feast. Mel was checking in on her throughout the night and was also devastated when Biscuit died. But she asked me for a copy of the photo of Biscuit smelling the succulent. So I went and got a pot, and I'm going to pot one of those succulents as a thank you present for them. And then 10 Lives, where I rescued Biscuit, and they had her for like 11 months before I rescued her. And they're all unbelievably heartbroken too. And I was going to send them a thank you gift as well. But the reality is they're a privately funded organisation and rely on support from the public. So I'm going to make a donation to them instead of buying them a bunch of flowers and having them delivered or delivering a plant in a pot. I'm actually going to make a donation to them. Biscuit's already a monthly donor, and I'm not going to stop that. I'm not cancelling that. But I want to give them a specific gift and just, yeah. And next time I go into town, not on a work day because their opening hours are only 10 till 4, but when I get to go into town, I've already accumulated a heap of towels, or like sorted through my linen cupboard and got a heap of towels and blankets and things to drop in. And I'm also going to call them and just say, what do you need? Because they always need things like washing powder. They're always washing all the blankets and stuff for the cats. And, what do you actually need? And I'll just fill up a bag of things and drop it down to them. In memory of Biscuit. Because, yeah, it's as much as I'd like to give them a gift, and I know as much as they would appreciate it, they really need help funding. And ultimately I'll be rescuing another little elderly cat from them because it's Biscuit's legacy. The older cats are always much harder for them to find homes for because people always want the cute little kittens. And I'm so sorry about how bright the sun is, but I hope it means I can't see chat very well at all. In fact, I can't see it at all. But at the moment, even with my visor down. But it's Biscuit's legacy, and I feel that sharing her story, even if one person, when they decide to get another animal, decide, actually, fuck it, I know I'm not going to have them for a long time, but I want to give this elderly cat or dog or bird or whatever it might be a beautiful retirement home, then I know that Biscuit's legacy is, touching people. And I'm perfectly set up. You guys know where I live and my house, and it's the most divine place for a cat to spend their last years or year. This Biscuit, it turned out, was only 15 months, but it's her legacy. And yeah, I'm going to continue to bring the old girls and guys home, because I only had her for 15 months, but she gave me, in that 15 months, more than people I know have known for 50 years have given me, in terms of unconditional love and teaching me things and being open to learning from me. And, you know, it was incredibly rewarding. And I know that by doing this, I'm probably going to have to say farewell to quite a few animals in however many years I've got left on the planet. But knowing that I can give them the ultimate retirement home and experience, happy little beach cats, it makes me feel really good. And for her, I want to do it again and again and again, because my life really is richer for having her in it. And with every animal I get, it's going to get richer and richer and richer. So when I put her little story together, I've started working on it. It's going to be very sweet and fun, like with happy music and all of that. But yeah, if it inspires somebody to think, oh, maybe we'll get an older animal, that will make me happy, because it breaks my heart seeing these old girls and boys on the 10 Lives page, and every day, you know, they put up a thing on who was adopted for the day, and you keep thinking, oh, that old one's still there. I want to be the person that goes in and says, you're coming with me. Because the other thing is, the older ones are usually surrendered because their human has got sick or has died. So they're not only have they lost a human that they've lived with for a long period of time, they're also heartbroken. And yes, kittens need homes too, but kittens are, you know, they don't have broken hearts, they're playful, they're ready to take on the world. But these are animals that have had their human leave before them, and they've needed to be surrendered. And I just think they're heartbroken, and for them to spend whatever time they've got left in a cat home, as amazing as 10 Lives are, I can take them with me and dote on them and bond with them and build boundaries together like Biscuit and I had to. And they can lie on the deck and roll around in the sun like Biscuit used to. And, you know, that cat had the most blissful ending to her life. Like the last chapter of her life, she was happy as a pig in shit. And I used to look at her and think, you know, look at you, just you're living your best life. And even just the experience of bringing an animal into your home that's already very self-aware and, you know, it has a very defined personality and already know what they do and don't like, and, you know, and having to work through that with them and reach a place of mutual happiness with each other and understanding of each other and acceptance of each other is also beautiful. Like, I really enjoyed getting to know Biscuit, and she enjoyed testing me and testing my boundaries, and my God, she just loved testing them. But I sort of feel that it's incredibly rewarding to give the older ones a happy retirement, because, yeah, she radiated joy, and that's why so many people loved her. She loved just sitting on the deck and looking at the ocean. I don't know if you saw the thumbnail for this slide, but that's a little memorial pot that I did for her. And I love it. I look at it and I love it because the rusty metal cat is looking out to the beach, and she used to do that all the time and loved sitting in pots. It's very appropriate that her tribute is a cat in a pot. And she loves to stop and smell the flowers and the succulents, so she's surrounded by flowers that have the most amazing scent. It's my pleasure, animal cruelty. You're also your life is also determined, and you beat to the drum of people who love animals. And thanks, Gruber. Thank you for all of the love, and everyone in chat too with animals. Thank you for loving the little critters, because they're way better than most people. There is a cat at 10 Lives at the moment that I was like, oh, do I, don't I? And then I thought, people will think I'm heartless, it's so soon. And then another part of me was like, you can't muck around with the older cats. Like, they're on borrowed time, get them as soon as you can. And I keep going back and looking at her pictures and thinking, is she the one? And I don't have this massive urge to get her yet. I still have a bit of healing to do, obviously, and that's going to continue. And I know when I get a new one, they'll be part of my healing process, but it doesn't feel right just yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if it happens in the next month. But I do want to take a bit of time out, and I've got this urge to go away for a few nights, because not that I resented Biscuit at all. In fact, I loved that she made me so grounded, but I couldn't go away while I had her, and I didn't want to. But I feel like she's given me the freedom to. I think she knew that I was almost better. I got this great job. She knows that I'm going to be incredibly supported in that. And I think she was like, I've done as much as I can. The rest is up to you now. And I know you're going to be okay. And her heart just had given so much love and just didn't have anything left. But unfortunately, but she fought so hard to stay, even though her little heart was saying, nope. She put in such a fight, bless her. But yeah, there's a cat called Sunny, and she's 9 years old as well, which is the age Biscuit was when I got her. And I love the name Sunny. It's sort of like, she'll bring in some sunshine. And if she's still around in a month, I'll go in and meet her and see how we go. But there's no shortage of the older ones. They get surrendered all the time because their humans get sick or their humans die, and these beautiful little animals are heartbroken. Their humans have gone, and then they get put in 10 lives, and 10 lives are amazing. I mean, it is you wouldn't want to surrender. Go. There's nowhere nicer for a surrendered cat to have to go. But you just think, oh, these poor little things, and they've been the only pet and spoiled rotten, and suddenly they've got other animals around them, and people keep going there every day and leaving with all these other cats, and they're still there. So, yeah, I'll go in and get another one, probably in a month or maybe after Easter. Heading into winter will be lovely. As you said, we all tend to bunker down and stay indoors, stay home a bit more than usual. So it'd be nice time to do some bonding. And then the other thing is, when I got Biscuit, she and I were together 24/7. And then I've just started doing this job, and I was really conflicted about loving my job and wanting to go to work, but also leaving her home because we'd just been together constantly. Whereas when I get a new one, when they start working out their routine and my routine, they're going to know that there are some days of the week that I'm not home all day. So it's not going to be an adjustment for them. It'll just be the way it is. And I honestly think with Biscuit, if she'd survived, the amount of medicine she was going to be on, the amount of like round the clock care she was going to need, and then the heartache that I would have felt leaving her to go to work, it would have been really, really, really traumatic for both of us. So I think she chose to go because she'd done all she could to get me better. And she knew that I was getting out and about in the world again and starting this great job. And, you know, I've still got a way to go with my recovery, but I was definitely healing. And I think she has given me, you know, such a gift of freedom to heal and do a little bit of, you know, traveling around the state and having a few nights away in beautiful places and just being very gentle and on myself and eating beautiful food and going for lovely walks and, you know, riding bikes and all that sort of stuff. And being able to go away for a few nights to do that and not feel guilty that, you know, someone's had to babysit Biscuit and give her all of her medicine. And so I think timing wise it was sort of perfect, as awful as it is. And I also think it was perfect in that I was already in a state of grief for being there and then for Birdie. You know, imagine if I'd overcome that grief and then Biscuit took a turn and, you know, when I was starting to feel better and stronger and she took a turn and left us, like it would have been much harder, I think, as much as I would have loved more time with her. I kind of feel that the timing was, in a way, perfect, you know. Down at one of my favourite spots. The sun won't be in your faces now. Hello, beautiful Shanna. Thank you, darling. Yeah, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm just going to stop at the post office and then I'm going to go for a walk. After messaging my new bosses and saying I just can't do it today, and they were fine with that, and not just fine, they were incredibly supportive and thoughtful. And just couldn't believe that, you know, another, because I didn't tell them about the Biscuit stuff last week because I thought, oh my God, they're going to think my life is just this constant state of despair. But it felt really good to let them know, and he understands the pain of losing a pet, and it was just, yeah, the universe has certainly, even though it's thrown a few massive life experiences at me in the last 6 weeks, it's also protected me and put me in a place where there are people that are really loving and supportive of me already. And you guys are also, you know, the universe has helped this beautiful little community. We all hold each other up and give each other so much love and support, and I'm grateful for that too. I will love my walk on the bitch, Shanna. Cheeky bitch. I mean, cheeky beach. Yeah, I agree too, Shanna. Biscuit will definitely lead me to the next one, and I'm going to love going in and bringing an old girl or boy home with me and giving them however long. I mean, the reality is with Biscuit's health condition, she was never going to be a cat that lived to 20, as much as I had this romantic concept that she would, or idealistic, or not probably romantic, don't take that the wrong way, you know what I mean? But the happily ever after sort of thing. But even if the medicines and everything that she was put on and she came home with me, she probably was not going to be with me by the end of this year. Like, she was on very borrowed time. And also the other night when I was with the vet and the vet was saying she was exhibiting some symptoms of neurological damage. And I just said, you know, what sort of cat will I be taking home? And she said, not the cat that you brought in here. Like, Biscuit was not going to be the same. You know, I was basically going to be pumping her with shitloads of medicine 3 times a day to keep her alive, and she wouldn't have been, you know, able to run and do all the things that she used to do. She would have just been sleeping and not much more. So in a way, like she lived her life to the fullest and had an amazing time, but leave she didn't leave the planet after having a few months of basically being an invalid. So, in a way, I think it was just the kindest departure, really. I kind of feel it's like a form of tragic beauty in a way. And well, not in a way, it is to me. And hi to everyone who's come in that I haven't been able to acknowledge. Hey, Trixie. Hey, Old Oak. Walnut. You dag. Um, I'm okay. I got up and talked myself into getting ready to go to work and kept sort of saying it's going to be a really good distraction and there are clients that need you and you can help people today and it'll be really good for you. And I just knew while I was driving in that it wasn't going to be good for me at all. I just needed a me day, and I had a beautiful day yesterday, but there was a cast of thousands. I mean, the Andes coming down, my friends coming down was really precious. If it had just been them, I would have, after they left, I would have been able to have a sleep because I'm not sleeping. I'm waking up at 3 a.m. on the dot every morning, bright as a button, ready to go. Well, not bright as a button, but wide awake at least. But yeah, I had a cast of thousands, so I had to keep waiting for people to come and do various maintenancey type things at the house and in the garden. And yeah, it was, it got to like 5 o'clock and I was like, okay, now I can finally have my day off. Hello, gone girl, beautiful girl. Thank you, darling. I hope you've been able to see the little memorial pot with the rusty cat and the flowers in it that I made for Biscuit. I put some of your beautiful, generous gift and Shanna's as well, and Tanny and Morgan and Mel Mel. Although Mel Mel, she, the night I took Biscuit into Arvec, into the emergency hospital, and I had to stop and get gross McDonald's. I hadn't eaten any food, and she paid for it, so I didn't feel any guilt about eating shitty food in the middle of the night. But yes, so thank you. You were all very lovely to do that, and Lady Pegasus as well. But I did not expect that. But you all contributed to the um, memorial out on the deck, and it certainly did help with the vet bill as well. I didn't expect it, and I just certainly didn't want it. But I really appreciate your kindness and everyone else. All your love and support all went into that little memorial too. Like it's a team effort. We all made that memorial together. You're all very much a part of it. And it was a nice little project to have the other day. And I spent a lot of time while I was putting it together thinking of her and you guys and just how lucky we both were to be so loved. But when does this crying stop, Like I know I'll cry tomorrow at work, but I know tomorrow I'll be in the right headspace because today is just going to be very gentle, offline, just nourishing my body, mind, and soul. And yeah, doing all that stuff. And I know that I can get back to people's messages later in the week. I don't think people are expecting me to respond straight away. I've responded to, I reckon, thousands. I'm not joking. The Pets of Isolation group on Facebook, that Biscuit was a superstar and she's now the profile pic, well, not the profile, the banner, the timeline. Well, I don't know what it's called, not the timeline, but the cover. She's a cover girl. And there's thousands of comments in there and YouTube ones, Instagram, my personal Facebook, emails, phone calls. It's been beautiful, but far out it's been full on. Not that I'm complaining, but yeah, I need a break from, because every time I sit down to respond to messages, I burst into tears again. And I know it's good to cry, but I actually want to just breathe and nourish myself a little bit today. I agree, Morgan. And I said in one of my comments to someone that the unbearably intense, deep pain, you wouldn't feel that if you didn't love them intensely and deeply as well. So yeah, it's part of the process. But I think everyone that loved Biscuit too, it's good for everyone to have a bit of me time and reflection and all of that sort of stuff as well. And yeah, I'll keep trying to respond to messages again later in the week. Maybe on Thursday. I've got a day at home on Thursday. That might be the day that I do a bit more. But thank you, Shanna. Practice self grace. That's beautiful. I was actually thinking the other day, like, if I rescue a cat that has a name that I don't like, I was thinking about names. What would I name it? And you just said self grace, and my niece Lily is Lily Grace, and I'm thinking Grace would be a really nice name for a cat because it's kind of hard to like. Biscuit is such a great name for a cat. I was thinking if I got a kitten and had the opportunity, I mean, if I rescue an oldie, chances are whatever their name is, I'm not gonna change it. But if I got a kitten, what names would I give them? Or and I got kittens, it's like Biscuit's a really brilliant name for a cat. And I tried and tried and tried to think of another name. And one of my friends started going down the, you know, Cookie and all that. And I was like, no, 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 I don't want another biscuity name, but I want a name that's as great as Biscuit, if you know what I mean. Yeah, the name Grace is awesome. It is the best thing to take care of myself. You're right, Trixie. And I've loved all of the messages, and I have loved responding. But it's you've got to be in the right headspace, and it does keep everything very raw and on the surface. And there's nothing wrong with that, but some of the stuff that's raw on the surface needs to actually be acknowledged, processed, and set free today. Well, I love the name, Lily's middle name being Grace. I mean, she ended up becoming a very, sort of lean, athletic kind of build and very graceful. But when she was little, when she was like 3 and doing ballet, she was like, all the little 3-year-olds with their pot bellies and their little tutus. And she was very loud and vocal, and there was nothing graceful about her at all. I will go on, girl. It is a beautiful name, Grace. And Gracie's cute too. Like it is. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely name. Um, but yeah, like if I was going to 10 Lives today to bring a cat home, the cat I'd be bringing home is called Sunny, which I think is very cute too, as in sunshine, not SONNY, it's SUNNY. And I'm like, that's cute. Oh, thanks, Morgan. I don't feel strong at the moment, but thank you. Nutsy. Well, funny enough, Raven, a girl who lives down here that I haven't met yet, her name is Sharon. She has also recently lost her beautiful boy, and his name was Nutty. Um, and Sir Cranky Pants. um, well, I think Chili Cha Cha's one of the most fabulous names too. Yeah, Sunny's cute, isn't it? What name would I pick? I wouldn't pick a name that I don't like, but what I meant was if I got a cat that had a name that I don't like, whether or not I'd change it. And I think when you're rescuing older ones, you really have to honour them and keep the name that they were given. What was Chili Cha Cha's name originally? It was like Gertrude or something. I can't remember. Beryl. I mean, my sister's dog is Jackie Chan, and that cracks me up too. I think if you're going to have animals, if they've got a name that makes you smile, but I think Sunny is a really lovely name too. And if I got her, I mean, if she's still around in a month and I feel I'm ready, I've been away and done some more healing, I think her name is so perfect because she will put a bit of sunshine in my life. Um, yeah, I think of that Sunny song too. Oh, stop animal cruelty. I don't know if you can try and put the Insta tag in my comments under the video. Um, yeah, because I'd love to. I'm going to keep Biscuit's profile. Be like Biscuit. I'm going to keep hers because I've found so many photos and videos and things that I still haven't uploaded, and I want to get that book of her published this year. So I think it'd be good for her to have an Instagram to kind of manage all of that on there as well. But yeah, let me know, and I'll Biscuit will follow you. Wendy. That's what I was saying. Gertrude and Beryl. Wendy. Um, that's a good idea, Morgan. God, all when everyone went self isolation here, 10 lives, every single kitten got adopted. It was so gorgeous. Everyone, because people were like, "We're going to be self isolating. Let's get a pet." And yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful for them to post saying we have absolutely no cats left. It was just divine. Wendy. I know, Chili Cha Cha, isn't it great? Yeah, Biscuit's Instagram, I think, had, I don't know if it had more than me, but my godcat, Kevin McTurd, I think his Facebook group's got more than me and his mother's combined. That, the Cat Along Gang. Okay, I'll find it later. But yeah, I kind of feel like if little Sunny is still there in another month's time, she might be the one to put some sunshine back into my life. Not that there isn't any at the moment. I mean, have a look at this day. There literally is sunshine in my life right now, and figuratively too. But I kind of, yeah, I sort of thought, oh, that's an omen. But I also know that I've got this urge to pack up my car and go up the coast or up into the Midlands and stay in a beautiful place near a lake and just take a book, stay somewhere where they cook dinner for you and, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and just nourish you and let you heal. So I've been looking at some different places to go. I was thinking originally about going to a retreat, like a health and wellness sort of retreat, but I actually want to just go to like a beautiful place that has food included. And there's one in Tassie called Pump House Point, which is out on a lake. Like the pump house is, there's a jetty that you go along to get out to the pump house, and the food's included, and there's also little cabins and rooms on the shore, and you get little bikes to ride out to the pump house for dinner. And I think somewhere like that is where I'll go rather than a health and wellness. So I can just load some books and notepads and some clothes to go for walks and bike rides, and yeah, and even you can take a little rowboat boat out onto the lake and just do that. I think for a couple of days will be really lovely. Thanks, Old Oak. I honestly don't know how I actually. Oh, so it was Lovable Rogue, your cat's name. It's pretty cool. Um, I don't know how I managed to do that video. It was the night that Biscuit died, and I woke up at 3 a.m. wide awake, and something that was in me like, do it now. And I finished it as the sun was coming up. But there's no way in the next few days I could have done it. But the one about the story of her life, because I really want you guys to see like the kitten photos, her teenage years, her fatty boomba years on the farm when she got up to 12 kilos. I'll do a before and after shot from because even when I brought her home, I look back at photos of her now when I brought her home, and she was just under 9 kilos then, and she was still a porker. She got, we got her weight down, and that extended her life significantly. And yeah, look, Sunny and I might be perfect for each other if she's still around in a month's time. If she's not, I know there'll be another one that um yeah, there might be another one, but I mean Sunny, whether Sunny comes home with me in a month or so or not, she's already helping me, because I look at her and think, if the timing was right, you'd be coming home with me today. So she's sort of already, without me even adopting and rescuing her, is kind of helping me heal, because she sort of symbolizes who might be joining me in a while when I'm ready for another one, if that makes sense. And I know that whoever, if she's not there, that whoever gets her, she's about to have the time of her life. So I don't feel mean that I'm not going in and getting her now, but I know that, I'll book into Pump House Point. I might even do that today. And just go away for a few days. And Pump House Point does the most incredible food, and the accommodation is absolutely stunning. It's not a cheap, it's not, it doesn't look cheap when you look at the nightly rate, but the fact that it includes all the food. And I like the idea of getting one of the cabins on the shore and just, well, they're not cabins. I mean, it's luxury accommodation, but, just getting on a little bike and riding down to the restaurant in the morning for breakfast, and then, they've got living rooms and shared spaces there. If I feel they've got a share table for meals, so I won't be sitting at a table on my own. I'll be at the share table with everyone else. They don't have, I think the maximum number of guests is like 38 or something. Like, I don't even know if it's that many. Like, it's not a huge place. It's big, but there's not a lot of people that they don't have a lot of beds. So it's not like you're staying with hundreds of other fuckers. And yeah, I can chat with people at the shared table, and then if I feel like going back and just, getting a picnic blanket and lying in the sun and reading my book for the day, or having a bath, or just sleeping, or going for a little row on the lake in the rowboat, which I think would be beautiful. Take a little picnic lunch and, pull up somewhere on the lake and on the shore and have a picnic lunch. Like that sort of stuff I think will be really good. So I might actually do that. Hello, beautiful Muppets and Mallow. Thank you for dropping in. I'm about to end this anyway. I'm going to go around to the post office, and I don't know how I made it either. Morgan, I don't know how I found that strength to make the video, but it just seemed like the perfect way to let everyone know that she'd gone, I guess, as well. And I loved doing it. And I have so many photos of her. I don't feel like I put all my favourites in there yet. There's still heaps of photos of her that I love that I haven't used, but I'll try and put them in the story of her life. I just hope it doesn't end up being like a 15-minute feature film. But thanks everyone for hanging out with me, and I'm very relieved that my beautiful new employers were so understanding and more than happy to let me have another day of healing, which I'm going to do. Nourish my body, nourish my heart, nourish my soul, touch base with a couple of my close girls who don't live near me, aren't really social media people, and let them know that she's gone, and maybe organise to have a chat with them on the weekend. And yeah, I'm going to plant this little succulent in a pot, so when I go around to see Mel, leave them a little gift from Biscuit and I. But I hope you all have a lovely night. Whatever you get up to, just remember the things that are going on YouTube. It is YouTube, and a lot of people on there just are loving all the chaos and drama. But, when you lose someone you love and you hear all the crap that's happening on there, you just think you're kind of missing the whole point of life right now. So, not begrudging anyone who's enjoying watching the shit shows and stuff, but far out. Doesn't perspective make you realise how pointless it all is. But I love my community on YouTube. There's a lot of goodness on YouTube, and you're a massive part of that. So signing out for now. Keep blowing kisses to Biscuit. She's definitely at home with me. I feel her presence. Today is the anniversary of my mum's death. It's 21 years today since my mum died. And when she died, I've never felt her around me. Like, things have happened, like unexpected upgrades and parks right out the front of places that I'm going to. And I like to think mum is having, has a hand in all of that stuff. But I have never felt her since she died. I've never felt her around me. But even my sister and my friend Laura, the other day when they came to my house, they were like, she's here, I can feel it. Like, the house just feels like it's just overflowing with her love. It's incredible. And yeah, I don't know why I've never sensed people, like even with Birdie, I said to her, seriously, mate, like, I'm so on the fence about this. If you can get to me and let me know you're here, like, do it. And she's like, yeah, I will. I've never felt human beings around me at all, but I felt Oliver around me. I felt the cats and dogs we had growing up around me, and Biscuit is very much in the house. So yeah, I don't know why my mum, it's 21 years today since she died. I don't know why she hasn't worked out how to let me know she's around me, but I've never felt it. Like, I still chat to her, and I'll smell Chanel No. 5 and think of her, and I can still hear her laugh and all sorts of stuff, but I don't feel her around me. But my house right now is it almost feels like it's bursting at the seams with Biscuit love. It's amazing. And not just me feeling it, but people that knew Biscuit too are feeling it. So, hey, Lady Pegasus, good to see you, beautiful. I'm about to sign off. I've got a day of downtime and healing today. I tried to go to work and be a big girl and be brave, and I knew on the way, and I was like, I can't do it today. Yesterday was meant to be my day of, like, just real quiet time and healing and not feeling like I have to respond to messages, just a bit of nourishing me. And it was a beautiful day, but I had a lot of people coming in and out of the property, and the property out of my house. The property, it sounds like I live on a fucking estate. I had, a lot of people coming and doing maintenance things, and the annual bug spray and the but my monthly garden dude. And it was just got to 5 o'clock, and I'm like, right, now my day off begins. So a day of healing and nourishing coming up, and a bit of thinking about my mum too. I don't ever find the day of her and the anniversary of her death as a day where I fall apart. I certainly acknowledge it and blow her lots of kisses, but 21 years, it's fucked. I think of all the shit she's missed. Just, like, grief is so weird. It never goes away, but it changes. And, with Biscuit, the grief I've got is incredibly raw. It's still very raw with Birdie. Mem, I'm starting to feel very reconciled about, even though I struggled a bit. But, I feel content with where I am with being there now. And Birdie's still pretty raw, and Biscuit's very raw. But with Mum, my grief for her now, it's like, you think about all the things that have happened in your life since they've gone, and everyone else's lives around her, and all the things she's missed out on. I know, Lady Pegasus, that was one of our little connects, wasn't it? We had these random life, not random, I mean, they're expected life experiences, I guess, in a way, but you and I both losing our mums such a long time ago and in such close proximity. I remember that being one of our bonding moments. We do too, Lady Pegasus. Like, my mum loved brandy and dry, and I hate brandy. My sister loves it, but I like Bundaberg rum, so I sort of go, I'm having a brandy and dry. And we have a little toast, and I'm not a big drinker, but we always have a little toast for Mum. Will and Ange and I will probably do a little Zoom, not for very long today, but just to have our little toast. And then if we're together, which we aren't this year, the three of us aren't together, but if we are, we usually just like put on a song that she loved and have a little dance and remember her. We remember her happily. I'm not an anniversaries will break me kind of person. The day with my mum that I really can't stand is Mother's Day, and not so much in a my mum's not here, it sucks way, but more just seeing how other people are whose mothers are around them and how negative they are. You know, mum didn't appreciate the present and she was a bitch at lunch, and you do feel like saying, well, at least she's still fucking here. I'd give anything for my mum to come back for a day and be a bitch to me, to be honest. Not that she was, but you know what I mean. Oh, you just had a look at Sunny. She is beautiful. You can't put holds on them though. Like if I said to them, I really want Sunny, but I also am not ready for her yet, they'd be like, too bad. And that's, you know, they're not being assholes. They're just, I mean, maybe they would because they loved biscuits so much. I don't know. But um, it's just not the right time yet. But she is beautiful. She looks like she looks different in every photo. Like in some photos, she looks kind of a bit like Biscuit and very tabby, and in other photos she looks a little bit ranger, and then there's other photos where she's almost like a rose gold color. Like I can't work out what she would actually look like in the flesh, but she is beautiful. I mean, there's a boy there too called Dobby, and he's kind of cute as well. But I don't know. There's just something about Sunny. Oh, Ruth, bless. My mum wasn't lovely with whatever we got her for Mother's Day. I mean, most of the time she was, but I remember one year. And I'm thank you for feedback on my sound. I think I just had my phone was on a bad setting. Obviously, is it much clearer than it used to be? Sunny's 9, Scout. Old Oak likes the baldy cats. Yeah, so when we got, oh, Mum, one year, it was the first year that cordless kettles came out, and my brother and sister and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever that you could just sort of put the kettle into this little docking station and turn it on and boil it and then lift the kettle and wander around the house. It wasn't sort of, on a bloody 30 centimetre long cord. And we thought it was the coolest thing out, and we bought one for Mum, and she was so pissed off that we'd given her kitchen appliance. We learnt a big lesson that day, but yeah, she was fucked off. A grey tabby. Yeah, well, she sort of looks grey, and then she also sort of looks bit rangery, bit orangey. I don't know. She's cute though, and sort of. I mean, I love the tabbies. I will always get tabbies, and I loved having Oliver, but I probably will keep having girls because there's just something about the girls. There's a bit of like Oliver was very similar to Biscuit, and often I used to look at Biscuit. She'd do something, and I'd be like, "Oliver, is that you?" Like it was really weird how there were really quirky things that he did that she did as well, and I was like, "That's kind of random." And I'm in a tabby cats group, and I'd say, "Does anyone have tabbies that do this?" And one or two people would go, "Yeah," but like in a group of 15,000 people, you'd expect a few more to go, "Yep." Um, but I did literally get a scolding. Good one, yes, indeed. She is beautiful, isn't she, Emily? But I feel that if it's not quite the right time yet, I want to go for this little trip away, and I'll book it in the next, like I'll go away in the next week or two. Like I'll do it fairly soon. And maybe when I get back, if she's still there, I'll pick her up on the way home. You never know, but it's not quite the right time. Oh, bless you, Morgan. I agree, stop animal cruelty. She's a mixture of 3 different cats. She looks like a short-haired tabby in some of the pictures, then she looks like a grey tabby, and then she looks like she's got a bit of ginger going on, or sort of rose gold colour. Interesting what she's like. But I just love how she's got the like Biscuit, the little short legs and the little fluffy feet. Um, there's one photo that Ange, my sister, and I were zooming in on Sunny's feet and just going, "Oh, she's so cute." Um, oh, bless Lady Pegasus. I don't remember the last Mother's Day with Mum because that was in May, isn't it? Yeah, it's May. And my mum turned 60 in December, and by February the 23rd, she was gone. So I remember our last Christmas, and I remember my brother and sister-in-law's wedding, and mum was too sick to go to it, and they popped down to see her in between the wedding and the reception, and a few of us went down, like just very close family. Mum was still at home at that point. She hadn't gone into palliative care and had a champagne with her. I mean, I remember my first Mother's Day without Mum, and I was like, oh, this day sucks. Whereas her anniversary today and her birthday in December, I celebrate it and remember her with a big smile, but Mother's Day just breaks my heart. But if little Sunny is still there in a few weeks' time, I feel that I'm going to get one sooner rather than later. I think they're going to help me with my healing, and I also think that getting a new one who knows my routine and knows that I'm not there every day, all day, every day, it'll be easier. Whereas Biscuit and I were both really struggling with me getting better and stronger and able to work again, and all of that, as exciting as it was, neither of us liked it. Yeah, do it. So it's our Mother's Day is May. We're the same as, is the UK's in May? I can't remember. I think we have the same Father's Day as the US, but not the same Mother's Day. Yeah, so 10 Lives is 10 Lives Cat Rescue, 10 Lives Cat Centre, I think. And you just scroll down on their website to where you get to the adopt animals, and Sunny's the first on the list because she's been there the longest. But Biscuit was at 10 Lives for 11 months before I came along. So yours is March. So it's May in the US. Okay, so yeah, the UK is March. Oh, thank you, Emily, for putting the link in. Yeah, so you can check out Little Sunny. But like I said, she might be gone before I'm ready to bring another cat home. But I just think her name, Little Ray of Sunshine, but she's already healing me because I'm already looking at their website and thinking if I was going to take one home right now, it'd be you little moggy. Yeah, so even if somebody else rescues her, I'll be super happy for her. But if not, if she's still around when I'm ready, and I do have an urge to go and get her right now in a way, but I also have a stronger urge to just go somewhere and let people nourish me and pamper me and give me freedom to have time out. And yeah, it's 2nd of May, second Sunday of May. Yeah, so the date changes. And then for our Father's Day is it September or October? I don't have the same reaction to Father's Day with my dad gone that I do with my mum with Mother's Day. It's weird. Isn't she cute, Morgan? But she looks different in I know a girl who's got a little boy called Sunny, spelt the same way too. She does. Everyone's falling in love with Sunny. But she's healing me, even if she doesn't end up being the retiree that I bring home with me in a few weeks. The fact that I'm already going, right, where's the next old girl for me to take home? And I don't know. I mean, if I rang 10 Lives and said to them, I know that you don't hold cats, but can I invoke the power of Biscuit and get an exception? Can you keep Sunny for me? September, right, okay. But don't you agree with me and stop animal cruelty? Like, she looks like so many different um cats. Oh yeah, the plain mask. Yeah, I love that expression, Morgan. You've mentioned that before. I love that. You have to put your mask on, and exactly, I do, and I'm going to. and not my COVID mask. We don't need them here anyway. But yeah, I love that expression. That was really lovely when you said that. It was so true. That was when I was having the meltdown, saying I've run out of Tory to give other people. Little did I know that morning was going to be the last morning I had at home with Biscuit, and by the afternoon she was going to be needing me more than ever. And of course, I was more than happy to do it. But I'm pretty sure that was the same day. Yeah, grey and white head, tabby and ginger body. I know. She's got it all happening, that little girl. Oh, and someone knows a Budgie names. Your son's Budgie. Was that funny? And I think Sunday's a gorgeous name too. So she's probably one of those cats. If I did get her, even though her name is Sunny, she'd end up with a nickname that was longer than her name, like my nephew James. When my brother and sister-in-law named James, they said, you know, we like a name that's sort of strong and solid and stands alone. And even if he wants to end up being called Jim or Jimmy or whatever, James is also lovely, which I agree. But in the family, he's known as Jimmy Jack. Like they're sort of saying he's not going to get shortened. Well, his name in the family is Jimmy Jack James. He's ended up with this really long name. So, yeah. No, Raven, I'm not ready, honey. I'm not. I love your enthusiasm. But no, I need to. My overwhelming urge to get another one is there, but I've got an even stronger urge to just do some final healing. I'm not fully recovered from my burnout, and Biscuit held my hand and got me to a point where she could go knowing I was going to be fine, but there's still a little bit of mending to do. I've still got to really have some time out to finish grieving for Birdie, obviously for Biscuit, and also for being there. Look at that, the three Bs. Birdie being there, Biscuit, unbelievable. And yeah, I know that there will be a new animal entering my life soon, but not just yet. Exactly, stop animal cruelty. And I don't want to project my sadness onto an innocent little animal who's all excited about coming into a new home and starting a new life with a new human and having a deck bathed in sunshine to roll around on and all of that sort of stuff. I don't want that little animal to have to fix me. And not that I'll be fully mended when I do get the next one, because I will be getting one fairly soon. But I want my heart to be open and overflowing in love and happiness and be able to give that little animal a really great start with me, not a depressing one. It's going to happen and it will happen soon. But before that, I know that going away won't completely fix everything, but I know it's going to make a massive difference. And I've had that urge for a long time, but because Biscuit was so sick, even when she was bouncing around and being her happy, bubbly self, she was a very sick cat. And I couldn't bear the thought of leaving her for a couple of nights, even with a babysitter, and putting the responsibility on them to give her all of her medication and so on. So she's given me this gift of, you don't need to keep caring for me around the clock. You can go away for those 2 nights that you want to do and put yourself out in the wilderness and let people nourish you and let you heal and get all refreshed and ready to dive into your job and give it your best. So when I've done that, I know that although I'm still going to be very sad she's gone, I know that the sort of sadness that's surrounding me is going to be gone too. Like my heart's still going to be sad, but I'm not going to be radiating sadness. And I want the next little one to come into my house and just know that there's going to be a lot of laughter and a lot of sunshine. And yes, there will be some sadness along the way, but I don't want that to be the first chapter of her life or his life with me. I want I want that entry into my world to be as joyous as it was the day I brought Biscuit home. Because it does set the tone, you know, it does. That first day, whether it's the first day you meet someone, whether it's a relationship or a new friend or a new animal, that first day sets the tone for what lies ahead. I believe that fully. So that little Sunny cat is definitely helping me with my healing. Whether she's the one for me or not, I don't know, but she's already doing a lot. I love you too, Lady Pegasus. I love your chooks, Ruth. I love your doodle cock. Fuck, he's hilarious. Anton DePeck, oh my God, your relationship with him is priceless. If your people aren't following Ruth's channel, you've seriously got to. You've got to follow the life and times of Anton Dupek. Oh my God, it is the funniest. Your relationship and the way you speak to him and everything, it kills me. But yeah, Sunny's beautiful, but don't get me wrong. There's a lot of elderly cats. What is it with people? We're all stopped in traffic because there's a cherry picker doing some work here. Everyone's obeying the dude holding the stop sign, and some self-centered little fuckface decided to get into the other lane, like the lane out, and drive. Oh no, she's pulled out again and reversing back in. Why do people think that they're the exception to the rule? But there's only one lane in, one lane out at the moment. He's a spectacular doodle cock. Thank God she got back into her spot, because now the cars are going through. But what is it with people? I want Anton to go and peck her on the head. Like, why does she think she's the exception to the rule? I hate to say it, but what a cunt. I might be moving into the angry phase of grief right now. But, you know, it's like when the speed limit at the moment is 40, right? Not so much going to happen here, but when you're on a road and there's roadworks and everyone's doing 40, and then some jerk overtakes everyone and does 100, it's like, why do you think you're the exception? Do you think we all want to be tootling along doing 40 k's an hour? No, we don't. But why do you think it doesn't apply to you, you fuck? She was a bitchy little millennial in a European SUV. Go fuck yourself. Trixie Bell. No, not Trixie. We've got a Trixie in chat. I'm trying to think of a millennial name. Trixie Bell is actually a beautiful name. Let's just call her Princess Cunt Face. That works. Unbelievable. Just doesn't take much to just be reasonable, does it? Really? Just do the right thing. But have a look at COVID, you know, the world over. I mean, the reason it's spread and all the community transmission and everything is because some people just, I'm going to block that car in. But it's all happening here. I don't know why this car park is packed. But yeah, people just had to be reasonable. And so many people just can't. Gregory Peck, that's a great name. Good one. Oh, Goldie's no more. Oh, yeah, so follow Anton DePeck. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for checking out beautiful Sunny as well. Like I said, she may be the right one for me. Even in a few weeks' time, she may not. But I know with 10 lives that there's a lot of elderly cats that get surrendered because their humans get sick or pass away, and they're the little ones with broken hearts that I want to bring home to the little beachside retirement village for wayward floofs. And there will be another one soon. But thank you for all of your love. I'm going to get on with my beautiful healing day. And take care, be kind to each other, and I will see you all again very soon. Love you guys.